Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. What if the most meaningful moments aren't the biggest ones, but the ones that almost go unnoticed? BTS's first concert in Tampa was filled with dazzling stage effects and incredible energy. But behind all of that, there was something quieter, something deeper, that subtly stole the spotlight. A fleeting glance, a quick look, a small touch, all of which felt far more honest than words. From Jungkook unconsciously searching for Jimin in the crowd, to the subtle moments on day 2 that felt like a small world belonging only to them, these weren't just ordinary interactions. This is a story about closeness that doesn't need to be explained. Of course, yesterday we witnessed BTS's first concert in Tampa, followed by a flood of photos and videos that quickly went viral. Among them, Jikook interactions once again stood out. Not through grand gestures, but through small details like brief glances and quick looks that felt much deeper. One moment in particular was when Jungkook seemed to search for Jimin on stage, then looked at him with full focus when Jimin's face appeared on the screen. That gaze felt warm, sincere, and impossible to ignore. Jungkook also shared a light and sincere apology via Instagram story regarding the sound issue during Magic Shop. He wore a jacket titled, "The Boy Who Jumped to the Moon," symbolizing dreams and hope, which fans later associated with Jimin. At the end of the concert, Jimin expressed his happiness at meeting ARMY, while Jungkook closed with high energy. Now, their interactions may feel more subtle and private, not gone, but transformed. And that's exactly where the charm lies. Simple, calm, yet still meaningful. As BTS Arirang Tour Tampa Day 2 began, the concert atmosphere felt even more alive. Not just because of the dazzling stage and explosive musical energy, but also because of the small moments that quietly touched the heart. Amid the bright lights and roaring crowd, another story unfolded gently, almost unseen, yet deeply felt. A story about Jimin and Jungkook. From the very beginning, circulating clips seemed to reveal a small world that belonged only to them. A world that felt warm, spontaneous, and filled with genuine intimacy. In the midst of a massive concert, their interactions felt like soft whispers, never loud or flashy, yet captivating in the most subtle way. One of the most memorable moments was when Jimin called Jungkook to come closer. There were no long words, no exaggerated gestures. Just a simple call, immediately answered. Then, without hesitation, Jimin gently stroked Jungkook's head. The touch felt so natural, like a language that no longer needed translation. In that small gesture, there was a familiarity that's hard to explain, something built from a long-standing closeness. Not long after, the mood turned playful. Jimin, showing his mischievous side, nudged Jungkook as if nothing had happened. When Jungkook turned to check, Jimin looked away, pretending innocence. It was simple, even trivial, but that's where the charm lay. Jungkook didn't get upset. Instead, he responded with the same softness, creating a rhythm between them that felt perfectly in sync. Another adorable moment came when Jungkook playfully poked Jimin with his microphone. Rather than being annoyed, Jimin responded with a funny expression that lifted the mood. The laughter wasn't just theirs, it spread to everyone watching. There was a sense of comfort there, a space where they could simply be themselves. But behind the playful moments, there was also a deeper layer of care. In one captured moment, Jungkook carefully brushed something off Jimin's shirt. His movement was slow and focused, as if even the smallest detail mattered. Then, as if that wasn't enough, he gently massaged Jimin's shoulder, a touch that carried not just physical comfort, but genuine concern. And then, there was a moment of quiet in the middle of all the noise. A moment that may have lasted only seconds, yet left a lasting impression on anyone who saw it. Amid the crowd's cheers, Jungkook slowly approached. Not rushed, not seeking attention. He simply came closer, then gently brushed Jimin's blonde hair. His touch was light, almost like a breeze. He played with the ends of it carefully, as if trying to express something without words. In that instant, time seemed to slow down. The world around them faded, leaving only a small space filled by the two of them. Jimin, with the same calmness, responded without words. He slowly raised his hand and softly touched the back of Jungkook's ear. The gesture felt so natural, So familiar, like something that had happened many times before without even being noticed. There was no dramatization, no attempt to make it look beautiful, and that's exactly why it felt so real. What made it even more special was how fully present they were in that moment. No distance, no hesitation. Just two individuals sharing closeness in its simplest form, a small touch filled with meaning. For some, it might have seemed like just a brief interaction. But for those who truly saw it, it spoke volumes. There was warmth that couldn't be faked, comfort that couldn't be staged, and trust that had grown over time. Interestingly, Jungkook seemed to become aware of the moment, as if realizing he had been too immersed in it. His expression slowly shifted, and he gently pulled himself back into the reality of the stage. That small detail felt deeply human, not about perfection, but about honest emotions surfacing naturally. On the other hand, Jimin didn't hide his feelings either. His gaze, his unplanned smile, everything felt sincere. There was softness in his eyes, a comfort that's hard to explain. As if Jungkook's presence beside him was something he always recognized, always accepted. Toward the end, another light moment caught attention. As Jimin smiled brightly during the concert, Jungkook suddenly called him Sexy Jimin. A spontaneous comment that instantly sparked loud cheers from the crowd. But beyond the reaction, there was something more than just a joke. There was a natural, effortless closeness. This second day of the concert was a reminder that BTS's charm lies not only in their music or stage performance, but also in the relationships they build with each other. Especially between Jimin and Jungkook, who, through small moments, reveal something truly significant. Because in the end, it's not about how grand the stage is or how loud the crowd cheers. It's about the simple things that happen in between, light touches, fleeting glances, or unplanned smiles. And perhaps, that's where the true beauty lies. That in such a vast and dazzling world, there exists a small, warm space. A place where two hearts speak without words, leaving behind a story that lingers long after the concert ends. In the end, maybe it's not about how grand the concert is, or how loud the cheers are, but about the simple things that happen in between it all. Because sometimes, a single glance, or a small touch, is enough to say everything. And maybe, that's where the real beauty truly lives. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next Jikook Moments.